Have you ever watched an animal fight in which two highly aggressive, dangerous combatants are engaged in peak violence, only for them to suddenly stop? They look around, seemingly quite bored. They might even groom themselves like nothing is happening. It looks like a glitch, a short circuit, as if nature has briefly lagged out before it's time to reload the fight. What exactly is going on? It turns out this is no short circuit. It certainly isn't apathy. Those brief moments of supposedly nothing happening are often the most important parts of the interaction. And in this video, we're going to look into what these pauses are, why they happen, and how they shape the outcome of an animal confrontation. A common misconception about animals is that because they don't always have the same expressive capabilities as humans, that their lack of expression is associated with a lack of thinking ability. When an animal freezes mid-fight, for example, and looks like it's just going about an everyday stroll, it's easy to conclude that these are just animals, and they don't have the cognitive capabilities to perceive they're in the middle of a brutal confrontation. Why, for example, would you stop and stare at the ground when a few seconds ago your opponent was tearing away at your flesh? But that's quite a simplification. The pause, despite appearing to be a cognitive lapse, is actually a sophisticated adaptive behavior that serves multiple purposes and in fact is an indicator of animal intelligence. When an animal is torn between two conflicting drives, like the urge to fight or the urge to flee, it often performs seemingly irrelevant or out-of-context actions, referred to as displacement behaviors. Scratching, grooming, looking around. Instead of being a sign that the animal is unintelligent or apathetic, displacement behavior suggests there's a complex cognitive process at work. The animal realizes there's a choice to be made: go all in and fight for resources, or get away and avoid the possibility of serious injury. The displacement behaviors serve as stress coping mechanisms, allowing the animal to lower the intensity of the moment, where it is then better placed to reassess the situation before committing to what could be a life-changing course of action. The animal is making an important calculation and is acting in a way that ensures it makes the most appropriate choice. When judging animal cognition by human standards, a term referred to as anthropocentric bias, it can simply appear as if the animal is having a mental short circuit. Another reason for the pause is a tactical assessment, a period in which an animal's thought processing is going into overdrive. During aggressive encounters, animals frequently pause to gather information about their opponent's strength, motivation, or willingness to continue. What looks like a freeze or glitch is in fact an animal reading their opponent. Information is being gathered at a heightened rate. The posture, eye direction, and breathing rate of their opponent, all critical data analyzed to make an assessment of their opponent's next move, as well as their own. Is the opponent leaning forward, ready to attack, or shifting its weight backwards, preparing to retreat? Where is the opponent looking, directly staring to indicate a challenge, or looking away to signal submission? There's a high degree of mutual and self-assessment going on in that short pause. What strengths do they have that I need to be wary of? And crucially, how much more can I take? The so-called glitch can be described as a high-speed data collection phase in which animals are monitoring multiple streams of information at the same time. This pause is also a part of a de-escalation opportunity for both combatants. To understand this, consider how animal fights often look like a series of escalating stages rather than an uncoordinated wild brawl from the moment they set their eyes on each other. The escalation ladder is a structured path animals often follow to resolve conflicts in a way that minimizes the risk of death. The first rung of the ladder is the pre-fight display. roaring, posturing, baring one's teeth. The idea is to signal one's size, strength, and fighting ability without having to resort to physical combat. The next stage is what can be referred to as a medium-intensity ritualized confrontation. The combatants get closer, the displays become more intense. There may even be some inhibited attacks, designed to convey one's commitment to the confrontation rather than to inflict actual damage. Only if neither side backs down does it escalate into violent physical conflict. This sequential process of upping the intensity means that many animal conflicts can be resolved without physical fighting having to take place. Silverback gorillas, for example, often resolve conflicts at the display stage. That includes chest beating, branch breaking, and loud vocalizations. Actual fighting tends not to happen very often. The pause, again appearing to the human eye to be some kind of short circuit, is a way for both combatants to analyze the situation and take a step back down the escalation ladder, saving themselves from the worst-case scenario. Remember, animals know that a serious conflict can result in injury or death, so throughout each stage of escalation, they're seeking asymmetry, a clear sign that they're either superior or inferior to their opponent. If that asymmetry isn't forthcoming, things escalate to violence. But even when the fight is underway, animals benefit from having an off-ramp, and it's the pause that serves as a de-escalation opportunity to end the conflict without further injury or death. During the pause, animals exchange subtle signals, a lowered head, a shift in posture, a glance looking away. Seemingly a random action, they're in fact indicators of intent. If one signals submission while the other signals aggression, the fight ends. In deers, for example, lowering one's head and stepping back is a sign of submission. With wolves, avoiding direct eye contact and licking one's lips are similarly submission displays. So you may have wondered, what is this wolf doing in the middle of a fight, looking somewhere else and licking its lips, when in fact there's pivotal significance to this perceived glitch. And there's another element to it. Animals can be far more intelligent than we often give them credit for. When an animal gets into a physical fight, it also has to consider the potential loss of face. So what does that mean exactly? Losing face refers to the damage to one's reputation, the loss of social status, the weakening of one's perceived dominance. And to be clear, this doesn't mean embarrassment in the way us humans may think about it. In the animal world, particularly among social species that live in groups, we're talking wolves, lions, primates. An individual's status determines its access to food, mates, and other resources. A public defeat, especially one where an animal is forced to retreat in a way that signals weakness, can have disastrous consequences. Running away in the middle of a fight can trigger a chase response, but arguably even worse is that it's an unambiguous loss of face. Everyone has seen it. The animal has publicly admitted defeat in a way that has damaged its reputation, and so the consequences from a social hierarchical perspective can be severe. Lower-ranking males are less likely to be chosen by females as mating partners. Higher-ranking animals tend to eat first and the best of what's available, and a damaged reputation can signal vulnerability, resulting in increased harassment and more frequent challenges. Not a good situation to be in. And so, because there are social consequences of defeat, the pause creates a socially acceptable off-ramp, where submission can be signaled without the vulnerability of running away. To put it another way, the loser can be defeated without the loss of face. And this is in the interest of both parties, which helps explain, at least to some extent, why the pause often happens at the same time. You may be wondering, if one animal is pausing or having its so-called glitch, why can't the other animal just attack? Won't it get the upper hand? Why waste the opportunity? Sometimes the pause happens together because both animals are tired. Fighting, of course, can be exhausting, but also consider how the pause benefits both parties. The winner establishes dominance without injury, and the loser survives to fight another day. It's in the interest of both animals to have this face-saving de-escalation off-ramp. But now consider what happens if one animal attacks the other during the pause. While the pause was previously an opportunity to confirm conflict asymmetry and to signal de-escalation, this opportunity has now gone, and it's not coming back. The off-ramp that actually favors both animals has shattered to pieces. An animal who may have been in the midst of signaling submission is now forced to fight to the death. Because in effect, what the attacker is saying is, "I don't accept your submission." The submissive animal now faces a terrifying reality. The attacker has shown it will continue to attack regardless of signals, the very signals that were supposed to deliver safety. The attack during the pause has resulted in guaranteed escalation and a desperate, all-out fight, something that could have been avoided. Even during this supposed glitch, when animals appear to be grazing, grooming, or looking elsewhere, they are maintaining peripheral awareness. What appears to be a frozen animal mid-fight is actually aware of threats and ready to react. And so the attacker, who could have won the fight during the pause, now risks injury, energy depletion, vulnerability, and even death. An unnecessary scenario that was entirely preventable had the pause been respected. Ultimately, the animal world favors animals that can resolve conflicts without paying the full price of combat. The pause creates a structured moment when both animals can do their cost-benefit analyses and signal to the other their intentions. It's why this pause, or so-called short circuit, happens across thousands of species, suggesting that on the whole, it provides a net survival benefit to a wide variety of animals. You may even see it happening in conflicts between different species, though the mechanism of the pause in these cases will predominantly be displacement behaviors and individual assessment rather than a shared language of de-escalation. Now, during this video, you may have wondered, we're talking about animals in the wild here, but what about us humans? It turns out the pause, glitch, short circuit, whatever you want to call it, is a common behavior among us too. Think about times of stress. You may scratch your head, perhaps look out into the distance, or even adjust your clothes. In times of conflict, those displacement behaviors can go into overdrive. We often adhere to an escalation ladder similar to that of wild animals, and the pause can be used to signal de-escalation using biologically rooted expressions of submission, like raising your hands with your palms out. And even in instances when humans and wild animals have their disagreements, a short circuit will go into effect as each side collects the necessary data, performs their cost-benefit analyses, and deploys stress coping mechanisms. So next time you happen to see an animal fight, one moment they're engaged in violent conflict, appearing to put it all on the line, and then the next moment they're seemingly unconcerned and distracted. A lot is happening. It's a deliberate mechanism that's in the interest of both animals, and a demonstration that when it comes to the animal world, there's a lot more capability and intelligence beneath the surface.